It was a quiet evening, June 1st, 2009. At Rio de Janeiro's International Airport, passengers boarded a routine overnight flight to Paris. Business travelers, families, a young couple whispering about their future in France. 228 people stepped onto that aircraft. None of them knew they were about to vanish into one of aviation's darkest mysteries. This is the story of Air France Flight 447. The aircraft was an Airbus A330, modern, sophisticated, designed to cross oceans with ease. At 7:29 p.m., the plane lifted off, climbing smoothly into the Brazilian night. The city lights faded below. Ahead, nothing but the dark Atlantic. Inside the cabin, lights dimmed. Passengers settled in for sleep. That suspended moment between departure and arrival, when time stands still. In the cockpit, the captain briefed his co-pilots. Weather ahead showed turbulence near the equator, common for this route. Nothing unusual, nothing alarming. The captain left for his scheduled rest break. 2 junior pilots remained at the controls. Hours later, high above the Atlantic, the aircraft approached a massive wall of thunderstorms. Towering clouds rose 50,000 feet. Lightning flickered inside them like electric veins. The pilots adjusted course slightly. Rain hammered the windshield. The plane climbed higher. Then, silence. A quiet but catastrophic failure. Ice crystals formed inside the pitot tubes, tiny sensors that measure speed. Within seconds, speed readings became unreliable. Autopilot disconnected. A warning tone pierced the cockpit. The aircraft was now in the hands of 2 relatively inexperienced pilots, flying manually, in darkness, inside a storm, over an empty ocean. The flight computers erupted with contradictory warnings. Stall, stall. Then silence. Then stall again. The junior pilot pulled back on the controls, believing they were flying too fast. But they weren't. They were flying too slow. The nose pitched upward. The aircraft climbed steeply, bleeding speed with every second. The engines roared at full power. And then, the impossible. At 38,000 feet, high above the Atlantic Ocean, the aircraft stalled. The wings could no longer generate lift. The plane began to fall. Not diving, not spiraling, just falling. For over 4 minutes, the pilots struggled to understand what was happening. Alarms screamed. Confusion filled the cockpit. Why aren't we climbing? What's going on? They never fully realized the aircraft was stalled. The nose remained too high. The wings couldn't bite the air. Below them, nothing but darkness. No lights, no horizon, no reference point. Just black sky and blacker ocean. At 2:14 a.m., the aircraft struck the Atlantic. Belly first, at devastating speed. There was no final distress call. The ocean swallowed everything. 228 souls. Gone. For days, the world searched. Floating debris was found. Life vests, seat cushions, personal belongings drifting on the surface. But the main wreckage? Missing. For nearly 2 years, the Atlantic kept its secret. Finally, in 2011, deep-sea search teams located the wreckage, nearly 4,000 meters beneath the surface, deeper than the Titanic. The black boxes were recovered, damaged, corroded, but readable. What they revealed was heartbreaking. The aircraft had been flyable almost the entire time. The problem was simple,
an aerodynamic stall, something trainable, recoverable, if only it had been recognized. But in the chaos, the darkness, the storm, the pilots never understood what was happening. 3 experienced aviators, a state-of-the-art machine, and a fatal breakdown in understanding. The tragedy changed aviation forever. Pilot training was completely redesigned. High-altitude stall recovery became mandatory worldwide. Sensor technology improved. Crew communication procedures were strengthened. Today, flying is safer because of what was learned that night. But the story remains a haunting reminder. Even in our most advanced machines, even in the age of automation, human understanding is the final line of defense. 228 people, one stormy night, one chain of failures, and an ocean that answered back. Flight 447 didn't just disappear. It taught the world a lesson written in tragedy. May they rest in peace.